Second place, you're in second place. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens. 13 laps to go. We've held position on lap 1. That's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused. You're sat in P2. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens. 13 laps to go. You have 4 laps till your pit window opens. The car behind is running with a lot of damage to his front wing. You're leading the pack, P1. They're on old softs. Pit window will open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. 12 laps to go. You are in first position, front of the pack. The gap behind us is 4.7 seconds. They're on old softs. Pit window will open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. 12 laps to go. You're leading the pack, P1. The gap to the car behind is 5.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. You are in first position, front of the pack. Our gap behind is 6.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 2 laps time. 11 laps to go. You're leading the pack, P1. Okay, the gap behind is 6.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 2 laps time. 11 laps to go. You are in first position, front of the pack. The gap behind us is 7.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 2 laps time. 11 laps to go. The gap to the car behind is 7.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 2 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:52.9. You're leading the pack, P1. Our gap behind is 8.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, the gap behind is 8.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:51.8. We have 10 laps of fuel remaining. No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. You are in first position, front of the pack. The gap behind us is 10.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens next lap. There are 10 laps to go. As things stand, we'll be leading the championship. The gap to the car behind is 10.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:51.8. Copy. We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap. You're leading the pack, P1. Our gap behind is 7.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window is open. Pit window is open. 9 laps to go. Okay, the gap behind is 7.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 4 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:52.0. You are in first position, front of the pack. The gap behind us is 9.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. The pit window is open. Pit window currently open. 9 laps to go. Go now. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. You have 11th place. They're on old mediums. The gap to the car behind is 15.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 8 laps to go. You're in ninth position. Gap to car in front is 1.2 seconds. They're on fresh hards. They're on old mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 11.3 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 8 laps to go. P9, you're running in P9. The gap to the car ahead is 1.6 seconds. They're on old hards. The gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. The distance to the leader is 12.5 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. You're in ninth position. Our gap to the car in front is 1.8 seconds. They're on old hards. Less than a second separate you. They're on old mediums. The gap to the leader is 12.8 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 7 laps to go. You're leading the pack. P1, they've entered the pit lane. They're on fresh softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 6 laps to go. 5 laps of fuel remaining. We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2. You are in first position, front of the pack. Our gap behind is 4.1 seconds. They're on old hards. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 5 laps till the end. Okay, the gap behind is 4.1 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:49.6. The gap behind us is 4.1 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:49.6. You're leading the pack, P1. The gap to the car behind is 4.2 seconds. They're on old hards. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 5 laps till the end. We're sat in 6th. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs. Less than a second separate you. They're on fresh softs. Our gap to first place is 9.8 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 5 laps till the end. P5, you're in P5. Okay, gap ahead is 7.0 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're on fresh softs. Okay, gap to leader, 9.5 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 4 laps remaining. There's 4. You have P5. P5. Gap to car in front is 5.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Our gap behind is 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. The distance to the leader is 9.0 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 4 laps remaining. P5, you're in P5. The gap to the car ahead is 5.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, the gap behind is 1.6 seconds. They're on old softs. The gap to the leader is 9.0 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 4 laps remaining. Our gap to the car in front is 4.1 seconds. You have P5, P5. Okay, gap ahead is 4.6 seconds. They're on old softs. The gap behind us is 2.9 seconds. They're on old softs. Our gap to first place is 7.8 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Just 3 laps to go now. 3 laps. We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining. Second place, you're in second place. Gap to car in front is 6.4 seconds. They're on old hards, they're on old softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. The gap to the car ahead is 5.0 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:48.6. You're closing in by around 1.4 seconds a lap. This is your final lap of the race. Okay, the car ahead has front wing damage. Front wing damage. Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty. Okay, clear.